everybody, and welcome to the PGF's Battle Pass. That is your Tuesday talk show where anything, everything, and whatever I want to happen is gonna happen. We have an unbelievable show geared up for you and a special little surprise. So you all need to sit down, turn it up, and get ready for this week's Battle Pass.
Only 1 minute in, and he's out! Get off! Take it off!
I'm not gonna win, I'm just gonna mess with File. All I'm gonna do is just keep getting DQ'd.
Who is that? Woo! You listen up, chump!
Honestly, it is
Hello, everybody.
an announcement for nothing.
A lot of people have asked.
No more Band-Aids, no more bullshit. The truth is here, and it's coming at you hard.
Oh my, oh me, oh baby. Look who has joined. Your boy Marcus. It is the one, the only, the Butt Nustin himself is here in person, and I am so blessed to be able to share tonight's Battle Pass with him. Hello, Nustin, and how the heck are you doing?
Great. Pleasure as always, Marcus. And you know, I'm doing a lot better tonight knowing that recently I just got cleared by my doctors to be able to compete. Now listen, it's just going to be an exhibition match.
Oh, come on.
But this Friday, July 4th,
Pay-per-view.
PGFF, you're not going to want to miss it.
Oh my gosh, this is what I love about the Battle Pass. It is free-flowing. You never know what's going to happen. Nustin told me he had something special to share, and you got to hear it first. King Tang of Shang, welcome in, all you beautiful people. Hasinator, you are the VIPs that showed up for Nustin, who has been cleared finally by the doctors to be able to compete once again in the PGF. That is the Professional Gamers Federation. Oh, it gives me shivers, and I cannot wait. Oh, exhibition match though.
As you can see, I'm not wearing the brace anymore. You know, my wrist. I'm still limited in my mobility. You know, because of the football injury. You know, winning another championship, it has its sacrifices, but I'll be able to play. You know, just some calm game. Nothing too competitive. But you know, like I said, my doctor keeps telling me that I'm still going to keep pushing my PT back the more I refuse to take these rings off. But as I keep saying, if you didn't want me to wear them, you shouldn't have let me win them.
Well, exactly. And the hardest thing about being a champion, Nussin, is it's hard not to win. Is that right or is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I can tell you this 4th of July pay-per-view is going to be insane. Johnny the Mouth Malone is going up against his own brother, Z-Diz. And only one of them gets to stay in the PGF. I mean, Nustin, you've been gone a while, but some things have been escalating here. What do you think about Johnny potentially leaving the PGF? He's been here a long time.
I mean, look, I'm still rattled because I've guest commentated the past couple of PGF events, you know, and you know, I thought what I was commentating was a Johnny the Mouth Malone match, you know, like pulling back the curtain a little bit. Like I know Johnny on a personal level, like he's a good guy, you know, he's not anyone like evil and stuff. So everything that's kind of happened over the past like month or however long this has apparently been going on, it's shocking, you know, and I can say like me, I think I speak for everybody else in the PGF when I say that we're shell shocked with everything that's happening.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
No matter the outcome on July 4th, this entire thing is going to be really, really hard to swallow.
Well, I mean, all of these gamers chasing after these BBCs, I mean, they're really putting life, limb, and ego on the block. I mean, you know better than most, Nustin. When you're a champion, it feels good. And when you have it once, you want it that much more, right? But putting your entire career on the line over, I mean, what? A family rivalry? That is just, there's competition and then there's blood sport. And we're starting to transition from one to the other.
I mean, this is a family affair, you know, and some things are just, you know, that some things are just thicker than blood, I guess. And I think Johnny the Mouth Malone sees his PGF career as something that obviously means more to him than his family at this point.
Wow.
And that's a huge statement.
I mean, that's just amazing insight, Dustin. You always have such amazing things to say, and it's true. To be able to put your career on the line over pride, ego, whatever it may be, some things matter more. And to be able to hold your head up high, knowing that you gave it your all against, well, your family, there's something to be gained as much as there is to be lost. So this Friday, Excalibur, I hope you show up, because it's either Johnny the Mouth Malone or Z-Diz, because there can be only one match, and that is happening on the 4th of July. But we are not here, Nustin, to talk about other gamers. We are here to talk about you. You dropped a bombshell on us that you were coming back for an exhibition match. Now, I know you said you wouldn't tell me anymore, but I got to ask. I mean, can I look forward to more? I mean, as you get cleared, you're coming back more.
I mean, that's the end goal, you know. At the same time, you know, I miss this as much as everyone misses me, hopefully. And my plan is to just come back and, like you said, obviously.
No, you motherfucking streams. Excuse my language. This dastardly stream sniper.
Our patience, like the PGF's so-called talent pool, is running thin. We can no longer sit by and watch this filth without taking action. July 4th, the PGF finally understands.
What?
What the?
I apologize, Nustin. That son of a gun has been crawling up my proverbial PGF booty for months
John's
now.
gotta do something about those firewalls, man.
We have been trying to upgrade those firewalls. That's exactly what he says to me, too. And we have been trying to upgrade this security, Nustin, because ultimately we're not here for attention-seeking whores, right? We're here to show off champions like you, people who put in the work, put in the time.
I'll tell you what, a guy like that really grinds my gears. You know, it's stuff like this that's happening in the PGF that's making me want to rush my PT and try to come back sooner and teach this motherfucker a little bit of what I think. Excuse my language, but the stuff that he's been doing, it results in that.
This is as unprofessional as it gets. Okay, we are the top tier, highest level competitive esports entertainment company that has ever been created. And people like this come in, take attention from people who deserve it the most, which is people like you. I need more
John went ahead and
Nustins.
hired the loser.
Exactly, and then Larry goes completely above my head and brings him on as a professional gamer. I just don't know what type of connections he would have to be able to pull it off. Sorry, he gets me going, Nustin. He really does, man.
Hey, he must have dirt on Larry. You know, I mean, he's made it obvious that he's hacked everyone's PCs. He must have dirt on Larry. That must be the only way.
Well,
I can't imagine any other reason why Larry would let a scrub like him into the Professional Gamers Federation.
I guess when you're dirty, it's easy to have dirt on people, isn't it? Well, we're not giving any more of that scene-stealing son of a bitch any of our time. Tex, John, anybody who gives a damn, get on it. Keep him out of here. Oh, it's even easier than it's ever been now that he's part of the company? Great. Can't wait for that. Again, Dustin, I just apologize for the stream sniper. We are here to highlight you. We are here to show off you and your greatness and your excellence. And, of course, the PGFs are here to see it. Say hello to Excalibur, King Tang, and all the others who are just screaming from our digital arena, cheering you on and saying hello. Oh, thank you all for being here. And, man, I tell you, we got a special little segment for the one and only Butt Nustin. That'll be a little later. Nustin, first and foremost, I want to catch up with you a little more, right? You've been off. We haven't even caught up from the cruise. If you'll let me share it, I remember a story you shared with me from the cruise that I'm not going to lie, I was a little jealous, okay? As much as I love commentating on all of what you all do, sometimes when you're watching your heroes just live the most extravagant and amazing lives and achieving the kind of goals that only gods could dream of achieving, you get a little jealous, and I'm not gonna lie. This story, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I think
Okay.
I know, Marcus.
Can I tell him? Can I share?
Don't feel embarrassed. You know, for
All
one,
right.
I think jealousy looks a little good on you.
Well, you know, me too. Green is my favorite color. You know, but with that being said, so Nustin, you were out on that cruise, which was paid for by Larry Geiger, an amazing feat in itself.
Yep.
Okay, you were on the brink. You weren't quite sure, you know, should I stay or should I go now? And ultimately, we love that you decided to stick with the PGF. But while you were out on this all-expenses paid cruise, okay, you told me that there was actually an emergency docking that had to occur. And I was blown away. I had been on a cruise myself, and that had never happened. But when you told me what the emergency was and that you weren't responsible for it, well, I can tell you, we have that footage. And if Larry lets me, I'm going to show it. But needless to say, you and a newfound acquaintances, yeah, I said were caught clogging up the engine filters with, and I quote, excessive amounts of undergarments that caused the entire engine to clog up and stop. Now, this unnamed person on the cruise, with all of their many, many love interests that they found, not only escaped the scene while the engine was clogged with the undergarments, they were never caught. One of the most unbelievable stories I have ever heard in my life, and you, sir, are the one who got to live it. What was it like being on such an unbelievable cruise?
See, now, I mean, that story in and of itself is wild, but honestly, you know, as you mentioned before, I got kind of tangled up in that sort of thing. But luckily for me, I'm a criminal justice major. You know, I know my way around the law. They weren't able to convict me for said crime because at the time of them speaking to me, I wasn't in possession of any clothes.
And if the glove does not fit or exist, well, they had to acquit now, didn't they? And I just gotta say, it is that clever thinking and unbelievable level of life that you bring to the PGF is why we love you so much, Nustin. So do your best to keep those clothes where they're supposed to be and keep living the best damn life that any person could possibly live. But Nustin, you know,
I'll try.
You know, antics on the great sea aside, the PGF has got to put you to work, right? And what is coming onto the Battle Pass besides an opportunity to share your expertise and give it to our PGFs? That's Professional Gamers Federation fans. So, Button Nustin, if you are ready, I will reveal what your special Larry Geiger content creation challenge is. That's too long, Larry. It's too long. I'm going to shrink that up. Called
He never was.
C.
He never was good with creativity.
He's great at something. And I tell you, so the Triple C on the BP, I ain't even going to try. It's coming up right now where you, sir, are going to tell us all about EA's College Football 26, the new Dynasty mode. They released a video on the deep dive. So ultimately revealing what they're copying for this, re-releasing for this, what they are adding new to this year's, this isn't Madden, this is college football, so it might actually be new. But Button Nustin, are you ready to tell us all about College Football 26?
Oh yeah, I'm ready, Marcus. You know, college football is personally a favorite of mine. You know, I play Madden. I've expressed my feelings towards it. You know, I grew up on the game. It was really good when I was a kid, but as I got older, it started to get stale. College football, on the other hand, hasn't gotten the chance to get stale because for those of you that are in the know, the game was discontinued for about 10 to 12 years or so, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was 10 or 11.
Favorite, personally.
It was back when it was called NCAA. And it was NCAA football. I believe it was 14. Was the last iteration that came out. Me personally, I was excited beyond all belief when this game came out. I believe if you can check on my Xbox, I have like months of gameplay on it already. I've spent so much time grinding it, bringing championships to multiple different programs. You know, I had to put the game down for a little bit, especially with the injury, so I haven't seen it in a while. But with the release of College Football 26, there's always room to improve with certain games like this, and I'm hoping to look that it's not like another iteration of Madden where they're just re-releasing the same game every single year.
Absolutely true, because ultimately I got an open mind and an open heart, and that's why people hurt me so often. Because just because they've sucked every year up to this point for a little while, every single time they release a new game, it is a new opportunity to have an amazing time. So maybe, just maybe, College Football 26 Dynasty Mode is going to be that good time. So button Ustin, gear up, baby, because we're going in deep.
Hey everybody, it's Kirk Herbstreit. Improvements to Dynasty and EA Sports College Football 26 are focused around adding authenticity to every Dynasty run, while also delivering...
So, Nustin, I have to pause already, and I do apologize. Now, that word, authenticity, before they explain what they mean, and as your opinion as a true-to-life athlete and a professional gamer, what does authenticity for a sports game at its core mean?
Well, authenticity for a sports game, in my opinion, is completely different from authenticity from college football, which is a completely different landscape. College football is a world that is unlike any other in comparison to all types of sports. It's a whole different world in comparison to like the pros and high school and any level lower, like the rivalries, the tradition, everything that's embedded in college football runs deep, and it's in centuries of tradition and all of these different roots that have come as a result of all these schools playing this great game together. Like me personally, I go to Rutgers. That's the birthplace of college football, baby. You already know.
Rutgers, let's go.
Yeah, rah rah. So
Jish boom bop.
what I love to see in something like this is there was already a really good ad of authenticity to the game already. They had some ads of realism with stadiums and like traditions when it came to teams scoring touchdowns. But already what I'm seeing out the gate is the addition of head coaches. For those that played College Football 25, the head coaches that were true to their school, their names and likenesses were not in the game. It was just randomly generated players.
That's
so
ridiculous.
The players that were inside of the game were real people, but the coaches were fictional.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that it should be true coaches?
I mean, I personally didn't have any feeling because whenever I did Dynasty, I always just started with a brand new coach, so it didn't really matter to me. But when you're talking about authenticity and you're already seeing the head coaches true to their program, it's already looking like a good sign.
All right, well, let's keep diving deep into, it's not called NCAA anymore. College Football 26.
College football.
That's a tough switch.
Bring on community feedback.
All right.
For the first time ever, you can start your dynasty by stepping into the role of one of over 300 authentic college football coaches. To ensure each coach and coordinator's authentic styles are highlighted, we completely rebalanced archetypes and abilities and enhanced playbooks with over 2,800 new plays. So when you battle a CEO like Kirby Smart one week and a program builder like Lane Kiffin the next, you truly feel the difference on the football field. This new...
So you can pause it right here, Marcus.
Of course,
Perfect
go on.
timing. Yep.
All right.
So already, we're talking about authenticity, and it's amazing because, they're talking about like the uniqueness of the game and the play style of each program. They did a really good job with just doing like the base options. You had different teams, like a lot of the SEC schools running a lot of spread offense and a lot of West Coast. And then you had, like Navy running triple option, a lot of Big Ten run heavy schemes. But this just sounds like it's a more in-depth, because at the same time, if you stayed in that one, conference, if you were like a Big Ten school, you played a lot of Big Ten schools, so you faced a lot of the run game, and it was more so the same thing because they had roughly the same concepts going on. So this sounds like they're just getting a more unique aspect to the playbooks and the schemes and just kind of overall how the games are played and making sure that each game is different, which I, for one, am already excited for.
Got him. God, there was a fly flying around me. I apologize. I got that son of a bitch, though. I got him. Sorry, Dustin. That was a wonderful point, and I couldn't help but just have a hard time paying attention because I was being accosted by a son of a bitch like Obama on a hot Sunday. All right, so moving on.
Options when creating your own coach, giving you more control over the path you ultimately take. A new progression curve offers early.
Yes.
I love seeing that already, because when you made your coach in college football 25, you were only given 2 options of either a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. In that, I see multiple options. I see tank tops, I see hoodies, I see windbreakers, I see long sleeve shirts, I see short sleeve shirts. I see everything to customize your coach and truly make it unique.
And why do you feel that's an important ad? What does that help with the immersion, or do you think this might be microtransactions, or do you think they'll be part of the game?
No. They're already stuff like that will already be embedded in the game.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
There won't be any. The only microtransactions for the game are if you go into like Madden Ultimate Team and you're trying to build your team in multiplayer with the cards. That's I don't do that anymore.
You know, as soon as they removed the heart of those cards, I was no longer invested. But the customization options coming back into video games is very important, because you, as an old gamer, like an old school gamer like me, our cup used to runneth over with the options that we could unlock through simply playing the game. You know, the wave of the microtransactions essentially just stripped away parts of video games that used to be included, and it's nice to see.
Took away the effort.
Well, absolutely. It just became a pay to win, or a pay to enjoy, not even a pay to win. Pay to enjoy. Compared to newer games, I think they might have realized that if you want to keep us as customers, you have to give us some value in these products. And it's very cool to see that seems like what they might be doing in this next iteration of college football. I love that.
Quality over quantity.
With more sustained growth across a new level cap up to 100. Of course, no coach.
All right, I do got to pause it there. A level cap. What? Like you level.
So for upgrading your coaches, the way that they have it built is it's built by archetypes, and in order as like a balance to not make one coach too overpowered, there's level caps. I believe that the previous level cap in college football 25 was probably level 50. This time they doubled it to level 100, but that's also, it seems, because that they've expanded archetype. But what it's still doing is it's still limiting your ability, so you're not able to make just one coach a god at everything. You got to make this guy either you're gonna be like, you can be a really good recruiter, and then you'll get like an offensive coordinator that's a tactician and a defensive coordinator that's a motivator. Like you can get guys that'll complement your work, or you can be a tactician and you can just get everybody else being a tactician and just kind of have everybody with boosted overalls and stuff like that. So there's different ways to approach the game as opposed to just making it like cheese and like the meta, making a guy overpowered. It's a really good balancing form.
Seems like they're trying to make it a little more true to life, or authentic is a good word to use. All right, let's check it out.
Sells at everything. So hire coordinators who complement your strengths or shore up your weaknesses. And make sure to leverage your staff's active archetype perk to really accelerate your progression. Updates to how coaching archetypes are unlocked, balanced, and expanded make each coaching path even more strategic and distinct. All 3 base archetypes now require a minimum coach level to unlock, promoting focused early investment and making your initial archetype choice more meaningful. New scaling archetype costs encourage more intentional choices as you progress. Now, advancing within your specialty, like moving from recruiter to elite recruiter, is more affordable than a path that requires learning a new skill set.
So pause right here, Markus.
Dynasty legacy with the
right before there, we're going to get into something that I'm really excited about. Trophy room. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, they're
almost.
Yeah, they're like expanding the archetype. Previously, there was only like 2 or 3 different options. You know, you had the base ones, you had the You had the tactician, you had the recruiter, you had the motivator. But it looks to me like they have multiple different options that you can go off of the base option. And to include that, it looks like they're rewarding you to do an early investment off of what your initial build is, as opposed to branching off into the other sectors, which is also a really good balancing thing.
Is that
Because, you know,
is
me
this
personally,
what
when
you're
I...
talking about?
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Sorry, go on,
Yeah.
Dustin. Go on.
No, but yeah, so like me personally, when I played, I would do like recruiter a little bit just to get the base options out of the way, and then I would branch off to tactician or motivator because that would be able to boost my teams overall. This one is really going to reward you for choosing tactician early and kind of making basically kind of what I did, which was a form of cheesing the game a little difficult.
Okay.
Because hey, you got to do what you got to do. But it'll make that a little more difficult because it'll really kind of put the focus on expanding off of what your base build already is instead of branching off into the others.
All right. So you're telling me that you start off in one of these directions over here. But then what you do is you come up and you come over, and then you might end up in this little yellow guy over here where you started out over here at first. But then if you really wanted to, could you cut down across and then shoot over to the right and then hit with this blue guy? So then you started with the red, came to the yellow, down through the middle, over to the right, to the blue. Is that something that you could do?
It is, but it sounds like from the way that they're describing it, that would be a lot more difficult because those routes aren't necessarily connected.
Ah, well, okay. I wish I had one of those pens. I'd be writing on the screen.
John Madden.
John Madden himself. I'd try, but I don't have a good John Madden impression. I'm working on it, though. $500 an hour for these lessons. All right, moving on.
Preserve your dynasty legacy with the all-new Trophy Room. Showcase every trophy, title, and individual award won throughout your coaching
It's
journey.
not even a
and look
3D
ahead
room.
at what coveted hardware you still need to
I mean, hey, they
strive
didn't
for.
even have this in
The new
25.
college football history feature serves as a college football history book and lets you
wow.
compare
Yeah,
your
pause,
program
pause,
to the
pause
all-
right here. You know,
Lord.
this is one of those examples. You know, I know that we've been giving EA credit, but you do got to call them out on this. This is one of those where they take something away. Like Trophy Room was something that was always in the NCAA games, and they took it out in 25 for some reason. They added in 26, and they call it a feature. I don't understand that.
And, you know, I also got to rub a little shade because why can't it be a 3D developed, beautiful, artistic room? Like, game developers have gotten, I'm going to say it, lazy. It's I know it's extra work, but imagine you walk in to your, like, you have this interactable coaching environment, and one of the rooms that you get to be in is a beautifully crafted trophy room that you get to see. I mean, it's just, I just think those are some of the biggest differences between games of old and games of new.
Well, college football has never been like a 3D interactive game.
Well, but imagine if they had that aspect. I'm not saying like you'd be like
It
a
would
coach
be.
walking around like what the new basketball games did. I'd meant more of a different way of interacting with the menu would be my way of saying that.
All-time greats,
Oh,
adding
sorry,
a new
yeah, go
dimension of legacy building to Dynasty. We've revamped the transfer portal to create more realistic player movement, especially among the 4- and 5-star players. Now, from 2,000 up to 3,500 athletes can enter the portal each season, giving you fresh ways to build your roster year after year. New dynamic deal breakers are player expectations that evolve with their talent. That 3-star freshman who is happy with average facilities? If he's an All-American by junior year, he might be looking for top-tier amenities. And whether it's listed as a deal breaker or not, your most talented players may still demand playing time. Some coach abilities can impact dynamic
So pause it
deal
right
breakers.
here.
Yes,
They
sir.
mentioned something with the transfer portal, a lot more movement. Something that I would like to see that we're seeing a lot in today's day and age with the transfer portal is a lot of guys flipping their commitment. You know, back in 25, the only time that a guy would flip his commitment is if he had already committed to your program and let's say you throughout the season didn't follow through on one of the promises that you give him, then he would flip to a different program. But it would be really hard, I mean, at least from my perspective, to get commits to flip to your program after they already committed to another one. So hopefully we see that in this one. But another thing that they mentioned was a freshman. If you're allowed to recruit freshmen and sophomores and guys a lot younger, that's huge. That's definitely going to change the game and how recruiting boards are built, because in 25 you could only get, like juniors and seniors and stuff like that, like guys who were already you couldn't recruit freshmen in high school. You could only really recruit seniors, guys that were like graduating and stuff like that, or someone that was transferring from a JUCO.
What do you think is is there a version of the portal or a feature for that you would like to see added in potentially the next college football? Like, what's something that would be cool to be able to do that you haven't been able to do before?
Well, hopefully, if what I understand is correct, that you'll be able to recruit guys throughout their entire high school career.
Wow.
That would be huge. And also through the transfer portal, as I mentioned earlier, I would just like to see a lot more flipped commitments. Because that's a little bit more true to reality.
So interesting. So from the gaming aspect, if you were to recruit a player, you would have to worry about they may flip on you. Interesting.
Yep.
That would be a dynamic way to make recruiting be more meaningful. Interesting.
Providing strategic recruiting advantages. New dynamic dev traits have a bigger impact on player growth, along with more abilities across 59 total player archetypes for better variety among athletes. And skill group levels increased from 10 to 20, so progression feels more gradual and realistic. Recruiting visits now involve location-based
So pause this real
costs.
quick, Marcus.
So the first
With the player progression, upgrading it so it feels more gradually, that's cool. What I would like to see, if they're increasing the amount, is I would like to see the skill point costs lessen, because the amount of skill points that some of these guys would earn in comparison to how much it would cost to upgrade some of these things would, be kind of astronomical. Like it would take these guys like maybe an entire season to upgrade maybe 1 or 2 skill points, so hopefully with more skill points they're able to decrease the amount that they cost, so that, as he said, you'll be able to make that gradual progression feel more natural.
Wow. So again, just more the way that a human actually advances, right?
Yup.
You don't just get better after one game. It's often season after season through collective growth as a person is when you advance. So hearing that they're applying kind of the way that the skill sets apply are similar to that, it's interesting. It seems like they're going more the sim route, or is it still a little more arcadey, or what direction do you think they're hoping to go with the college football?
Well, from an
serious or more
authenticity standpoint, I think what I would hope that they're trying to do is make the Dynasty experience more realistic and authentic, while making the game a little not too arcadey, but not too realistic.
Yeah, not a burden. Like then, you don't got to buy them toilet paper. Or pay for the laundry. Exactly. Moving on.
The further a prospect lives from your campus, the more recruiting hours a visit costs. This simulates an authentic recruiting challenge faced by smaller programs who must focus locally, while powerhouses can recruit nationally. New recruiting battles create high-stakes showdowns when multiple schools are neck and neck.
They didn't have everything was just a constant. Everything was just a static recruits, no matter where they were from or where your school was located in comparison to them. They all costed the same amount. But this one, it sounds like the further away they are, the more it's going to cost, which is going to make those far away recruits worth a lot more, and you're going to have to think twice before just sending out everything to everybody.
And do you think that will also impact, if you want a more difficult experience, you start at a smaller school, so then you'll have a smaller budget? Interesting.
First school that I rebuilt was Ball State, because they were the lowest overall in college football 25. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Well, you
Lowest
grabbed-
overall and funniest name.
Yeah, well, you grabbed that Ball State by the balls and made it something champion, didn't you?
And team needs are now front and center on your prospect list, so you always know exactly where to focus your efforts. When it comes to wear and tear, every player now has a seasonal health pool that depletes as they recover. And once it's empty, they can't bounce back until the offseason. New auto subs incorporate different wear and tear strategies, allowing you to customize substitution thresholds and better manage your team's long-term usage. Within custom conferences, the new protected opponents option ensures certain annual matchups, regardless of divisional changes. Preserve key rivalries like Michigan versus Ohio State every year with this feature, up to 2 protected opponents per team. New formation subs provide flexibility to assign players to specific alignments, adding ways to strategically exploit opponent team weaknesses. Take advantage of new position archetypes with up to 50 subs per team.
This is something, if
with
you can pause right
packages
here,
that
Marcus, this is something that I'm kind of excited for, because one of the things that I really liked to do, and as I mentioned earlier when I was coaching the Ball State team, running that franchise, I had at one point, I had a dual quarterback set where in certain formations I would run one quarterback, and some formations I would throw in the other guy. But it got really hard because you had to do that manually. Now it looks like with this you'll be able to adjust it in the settings so that these guys come in on the specific formations that you want, which I'm super excited for.
I mean, just even more control in your hands as the gamer.
Gonna make it way easier.
Awesome.
Assists season to season.
Sorry for the quick pause. I have to comment. I'm amazed at the depth.
With crossplay in Dynasty, build your college football empire with friends
Oh,
on
that's
any
huge.
platform.
Let's go
Use the
crossplay.
enhanced player hub
Yup,
and
they
new
didn't have it in
members tab
25.
to effortlessly manage your dynasty and stay connected. Pre-order the MVP bundle. Includes both EA Sports
damn.
College Football 26 and
Well, but Dustin, I tell you, man, that I thought I'd have a little more critical view at that, and I'm walking away amazed at the depth, and it seems like they're truly trying to provide value.
Absolutely. You know, I heard there's a couple more upgrades too with Road to Glory. You know, I'll have to take a look at that when we get done this, because you know I saw that and that just made me more excited to play the game. You know, right now I want to boot up College Football 25 while I'm waiting for 26 to come out.
Well, I tell
But you know, hopefully, like we mentioned earlier, it's not a copy and paste from just last year.
Absolutely. You know, I go in with an open mind and an open heart, and it sometimes leads to pain. But this, I don't think, is going to be the case, because optimism leads, and if these companies want to keep making money, they got to listen to the people who give it to them. And after a little bit of a dry spell, I've been seeing some amazing games coming out of the wet works and the pipeline, coming down the chute, whatever you want to call it. And this, my friends, is one of them. I used to love NCAA. I wasn't a big fan of Madden. I was more of an NFL Blitz guy, and I went from Blitz to NCAA. And it's because I love the CSU Rams. You know, they got a close to my heart. You know, they weren't good when I liked them, and I don't think they're still good, but it don't matter. They're
They're kind of average.
You support the teams you grow up with. And being able to see a new game, be able to relive a childhood joy of mine, I'm pretty excited, Nussin. And honestly, your amazing insight into not only the football world, but the NCAA, or college football 26 world. You know, you might have convinced a few people that it might be time to pick up a new football game. Pretty cool stuff.
I'll tell you what, I'm just excited as you are, because I can't wait for that game to come out. I can't wait for my PT to come back. I'll come back and I'll take those titles off of Root, so you better be careful.
Oh, Nustin, well, there's always room for more titles, and I'll tell you, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the Battle Pass, because we are ready for you to come back. So all my friends out there, be excited, because the moment this man is 100%, he is coming back to the Professional Gamers Federation with a fire and a passion for gold. All of our current champions, the Root Student Titan and the Big Mac Daddy Show, better watch out, because when Nustin returns, all hell is gonna break loose. Hopefully by then I have that son of a bitch stream sniper out of here so that we can have the real champs compete. So
I'll teach him a lesson when I get back. Don't worry.
do it for me, Dustin. Okay, do it for me. We're friends, man, and I need help with this stream sniper. He's hurting me deep. So with all that being said, I gotta let everybody know, for the professional gamer here, thank you for being you. To all of the PGFFs, that's Professional Gamers Federation fans, thank you for being here. And from everyone at the PGF, we will see each and every one of you at the next Friday Night Fights.
PGF for life.
Much love, people.
Champions play, the thrill of the game is here to stay. Clash of the Titans still on display, only the best chance seems the day. Flag in, we're starting the